Hi there, I'm Katie Wagner. Welcome to Social Media Help Desk. This is the time every week when we get together to talk about what's new in social media and discuss the tips and tricks that we've been using here at the agency to make sure things go well for our clients. So I'm here with content editor Layla and junior content editor Ivana.
Hello.
And we're going to start with some really exciting news because there was a recent study that came out, some stats from eMarketer.
Statistic that proves something that we've been saying for years.
That what we do is important.
Yeah, but I think that it's a unified system now with all businesses that they are seeing the value in digital marketing, and I think with recent news has sort of made people believe that digital marketing isn't really where it's at. And so this statistic, I think, is a really big leap forward for digital marketing agencies to show this is where you should be putting your money. I mean, we see it all the time that when they split budget between their Facebook ads and then they also do some other old type of marketing.
Traditional. Yeah. Magazine ads or TV, radio, that kind of stuff.
The results show up faster. And so it's exciting to see that now by the common business owner, they all are seeing the value in that.
Yeah. And I think it's big too, because if you think about all the businesses in the United States and all the money that these corporations spend on advertising, and now they're spending more on digital advertising than they were with any of those traditional methods. I came from TV, so in one way it's kind of sad for me because we see a shift away from those traditional methods, but being in digital now, it is exciting. And we see that with our clients. A lot of times companies will come to us and say, I know that this is the future. I know I need to be spending more here, but I don't understand how to create a digital marketing campaign when I've just been doing traditional media marketing. Yeah. And that's, for me, that's one of my favorite things about what we do is helping clients understand how to integrate the two, right? And how to make that shift and make it a little less scary. So that's big news. So 2019 is a landmark year for digital. It is the first year that more businesses are spending money on digital ads than they are on traditional advertising. And one of the things that's big in that is Facebook, right? Facebook's a big place for digital advertising. They say that you sort of need ads these days to make Facebook effective. And one of the things we know about Facebook with the ads is that they do a lot of targeting based on information they gather from us, right? Facebook has turned into Big Brother a little bit, right? They're listening to us, and they've made no qualms about the fact that they do gather a lot of information based on what we look at on the internet, what we respond to on Facebook, sometimes what we're searching for, what we're talking about. Okay, I have this story.
Everything, definitely talking about.
And so they're targeting ads. And so I'm going to tell you guys a story. I just got back from our office in Vegas last Friday. So this weekend I was home for the first time in a couple of weeks, and I started having allergies, and I was feeling congested, and I was talking to Steven, my husband, about I have allergies, I don't know what to do, I've never had allergies, but I'm complaining pretty much nonstop all weekend, right? And we sit down at the computer on Sunday night, and he turns on Hulu, because we're going to watch something on Hulu, and I open up my computer because I'm going to do a little work. So I have Facebook open. And all of a sudden, the pre-roll ad on our Hulu is for seasonal allergies and a medicine you can do. And I looked at him and I was like, have you ever seen that ad before? He's like, never. Because we see the same ads on Hulu every time, right? And I'm like, that's weird. And I opened my Facebook, and the whole sidebar is about allergy medicines that I can take.
Wow.
And I was like,
From
okay.
the same company or just
No, different companies, just allergies in general. But it was so freaky because I hadn't Googled it. I hadn't been looking for remedies. I'd just been talking about it loudly with him, repetitively, with my phone in my pocket. And they hear us.
Yeah, they definitely do, because I've experienced that too, and it actually happened probably 4 years ago. So this has been happening for a while.
But I think they're a little more transparent about it now.
Definitely, But I wasn't even. We're talking about laser treatment. So random. But I was just having a conversation for probably an hour about it, and then we just stopped talking about it. I hadn't talked about it anymore other than that. But we had a lengthy hour conversation. Yeah. And then once I went on Instagram, a couple hours later, I got an ad for it right away.
Yeah. So Facebook, Instagram, digital media, they're watching you, right? And they use this to target ads. Now that's great news for people like us, because we get a lot of really detailed information about what you care about, your habits, what you're interested in, that we use to help our clients sell you things, right? So that's good news. But a lot of people, you know, with good reason, are bothered by this.
Right.
They don't like that Facebook's eavesdropping on them.
I think now that I've been getting more into digital marketing, I'm not freaked out by it, but like before I definitely was.
It's a little creepy.
It feels like an invasion of privacy, but you know, when you see the use for it is just to, you know, give you directed ads that you like they think that you're gonna like. I think that's better than getting ads that I have like no I wouldn't like, you know.
Mm-hmm. But good news, because the people that are bothered by it, the people that don't want this, Facebook says it's going to unveil a clear history button. So you can hit it and it will not remember anything that you've looked at or searched for or looked at. Now, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. It's not here yet. But they say the clear history feature is expected to roll out later this year, 2019. It's on a bit of a delay right now because, you know, development, etc.
Right.
But they said they first talked about it in May of 2018 and said that they're still having some development issues doing the clear history function. But that they say it will roll out this year and you will be able to erase all this info they gather on you. Which, for some people watching, might be a good thing.
Yeah.
For us, I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of going to make our jobs harder.
Definitely.
Right? There's a lot less data in which to use to target ads. And I think business owners need to stay on top of this news, because if you rely on Facebook and Instagram ads to target your audience, this could make it harder to know what people are interested in your product. So good on one hand, bad on one hand, you know, like a lot of things. And so it's something we'll definitely keep an eye on as we move forward. And then speaking of Facebook, Instagram is also owned by Facebook. So let's do some news there. Instagram is really good at taking the best features from everybody else and putting them on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Isn't that how they started? Like we had Snapchat, right? Which you're into. I'm not super into Snapchat. Yeah. So they had Snapchat, and then Instagram said, well, we can do that. And they did stories, right?
The filters even.
Yeah, the filters. And they've done a lot of things. So they say that they stole Twitter's live video feature and made it the Instagram live video feature. Okay. But, because Twitter had Periscope, you remember that?
Yeah.
So they allowed people to do broadcasting live through Periscope, and Instagram's like, no, we can do that. So now they have live Instagram. But now they're stealing a feature from Pinterest. So for a long time, help me explain this, ladies. For a long time, you've been able on your Instagram to save photos that you like and put them sort of into a cache that you can resort to later. Yeah. So if I see really pretty things I want to look at later or content we want to save to share for one of our clients, we'll just hit the button and save it. But that's been like a private thing. Like I see my cache of saved pictures, but you guys can't go on and see it. And a lot of people, I think, don't even know that feature exists. Because when we do Instagram boot camp here, we get a lot of questions about, oh, you can save it? I didn't know. People are just screenshotting things they want to save. But now, Instagram's saying they're going to make that public. So I can save things into my cache and then make that a collection, which is a public Pinterest board, essentially, a public collection of photos that you can now see.
I'm wondering like how that's going to work, because I use the save feature all the time. I love it. And you can, right now you can put them into different boards. So I have one for hair, I have one for shopping, and then I have some like for my clients and things like that.
One for boyfriend or stalking.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff. You know, my future husbands.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm wondering if like, are those going to be like all public, or can you just have some for private, some public? Because I don't want everyone to be seeing what I'm saving, you know?
Right. Yes, I would say fewer things if it was all public.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's a good question, and we don't know the answer yet, right? And I'm wondering where on the profile is that displayed. So if I go to Layla's profile, I see your flow where you're posting information, and I see highlights of the stories you've saved and your profile information up top. Where's there room to put collections of things you've saved, right?
I think it'll be kind of like, so you go on the profile, you see the feed, and then you have like a section for tagged, and then it might add like another section for saved.
Yeah, that's
something like that. Yeah.
And I think as a business owner, this is an exciting opportunity to start pre-saving things already, because if you do have all of them bucketed into different elements of your business that you care about, like all the tips you need for health if you're in a gym, then I believe part of this rollout is that you can also then follow these collections, right?
Oh, okay, yes.
So then if I'm making all these collections and Ivana really cares about all the hair tips that I have, she'll just follow me.
Which you do.
It adds a whole level of engagement without having to think of what to post.
It's basically, that's like just like Pinterest though, so they're basically doing the same thing.
And it's interesting because Pinterest historically has a little bit of an older audience than Instagram. Pinterest is a lot of people my age, don't say anything. It's people that are a little bit older, you know, let's call them Gen X, and largely women, whereas Instagram is more of a like millennial age audience, still largely female, but more of a millennial. And so it'll be interesting to see if they're as into that as people are on Pinterest.
I mean, I think mostly girls, like younger girls, will be into it, not as much younger men, but I mean, I love Pinterest too. I use Pinterest all the time, and I think Pinterest and Instagram are one of my favorites just because it's so visually appealing. So I think that for the younger girls, it's definitely going to be beneficial.
Well, absolutely. To add my 2 cents there, I think that Instagram is really whatever you make it, and I see my brothers and my boyfriend using Instagram in a completely different way. Like they use it as like this exchange of awesome looking cars or hilarious memes. I think whatever your interests are, you can have a place for you on Instagram. So if they're able to roll this out successfully, they're going to have a lot more users.
And that actually brings up a really good point. My husband, on our blog, if you go on the KWSM blog and search for it, my husband wrote an article called How to Pin Like a Man. How to use Pinterest like a man. So he says not only women use Pinterest, but yes, mostly they do. So, okay, another thing I think is good about this for business owners is one of the things I like to use the save feature for on Instagram is user-generated content. So like if you put out a product, you sell a product, and other people use your product or take pictures with it, you can now save those pictures and have a place where you could turn it into like a little board or a collection where hear what other people say about our product. Or not say, but show about our product, you know? And I think that's a really great use for it moving forward. It adds a whole nother dimension to the story you're telling on Instagram. So if I were a business owner, I'd be starting to collect all that stuff now and get ready to make my collections. All right, lots of exciting things happening. Oh, we have one more. I forgot to even tell you about LinkedIn. So LinkedIn it's always been the most professional social media channel, right? It's a little less social, a little more professional networky, but they're trying to get people more engaged, and they've been constantly trying to make a move toward more interactions, more networking. And they're releasing a what people are talking about now feature. And so it updates current trending topics, stories, conversations, like hot topics. You see that on Twitter and on Facebook where it says trending now. I think that's what it says. And so LinkedIn is now going to do that. So in the sidebar of your LinkedIn feed, you're now going to see what all the trending topics are and what most people are posting or having conversations about, which I think is pretty good. Yeah, I like that too. It allows you to find content you're interested in.
Yeah, I think that's actually like my biggest struggle with LinkedIn because I love to follow different businesses on there. Just so you know, LinkedIn's always different content, so I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I always find it hard to find certain businesses or things I just don't think of on the top of my head to follow. So that might be a good little feature.
Yeah.
And I know that LinkedIn already has something rolled out. Maybe it's only me as an audience, but there's a notification that I get every morning that's I believe it's called In the News. And so it just gives you the 3 most popular stories, but I think this is a other whole layer because it's what are people talking about.
Right, what's everybody posting about?
There's an endless opportunity for LinkedIn there to say, you know, what are the businesses that you follow talking about? What is your company talking about? And so it's a great way to get people to come back to the platform daily like they currently are using other social media platforms.
Well, and I think that's a major goal, right? Microsoft owns LinkedIn, and I think a major goal is to get people to use it more frequently like they do Facebook. Right? Because people check Facebook 5 times a day on average, but on LinkedIn they don't, right? They check it a couple times a week. So this is a feature that's being rolled out now, so some people have it and some people don't, but we all will be getting it eventually. And so keep your eye out for that. Help you discover new content on LinkedIn. All right, shifting gears a little bit, talking about content on social media, a lot of what we recommend our clients to create in order to post is original content, right? Don't just share other people's stuff, but like be a thought leader, create your own original content to post on social. And one of the big ways to do that is blogging. But there are right and wrong ways to like maximize the effectiveness of your blog. And so Layla, you're going to talk to us about things we should keep in mind when we're posting blogs to make sure they get the biggest bang for the buck.
Yeah, definitely. So 5 things to remember. It's, you know, if you have these 5 things every time, your blog is more likely to show up higher in the search results.
That's good.
Because as you know, Google doesn't have time to read all of our blogs. They have systems in place to automate that process and to determine whether your topic is more is more informative than the other people writing about the identical topic. And so to put some statistics behind it, right now there's about 4 million blogs being written every single day.
Wow, 4 million posts every day.
4 million, yeah.
We love blogging.
It's definitely gained a lot more popularity in recent years, but in total there's over 500 million available as of 2018. So, count into how far we are into 2019 and you'll get an idea. So to have your blog stand out, at the very least, just do these 5 things.
Okay.
And so to highlight them higher level, there are tags, featured images, meta descriptions, focus keywords, and internal links. Lots of words, but
what
we'll
do
go
all
through
those things
one.
mean?
We'll go through them one by one.
Okay.
So the first one is tags.
Okay.
So the way that I see it, a tag is grouping your posts. So we're a digital marketing agency. We have lots of different things to talk about. And so we would tag when we're talking about content or when we're talking about website optimizations. So that way, what this does for your website is it allows people to more easily find the blogs that they're interested in.
So it's a category you're putting it in.
Exactly, it's a category.
I think kind of like to put in social terms, like a hashtag almost.
Yeah.
Like you're putting it into...
Also a category.
That's a good comparison. Yeah. And so for the people that are on your website, it makes it easier for them to find more blogs that interest them, which helps them become informed about what it is that you do and easily be able to navigate so they stay longer on your website.
Okay.
But it also helps Google understand the structure of your website and what your most relevant topics are so that they understand, okay, this is what their website is about. Here are the tags that they keep using over and over again. When someone types in those questions, we'll be sure to feature this website.
So one of the things that makes blogs so powerful is they're really good for finding your website online, right? Because Google will index each of those articles as a separate page on your website. So like if you're putting up a blog post once a week, you're putting a new page on your website for Google to find once a week.
Yeah.
And you're saying if you're putting them up a lot in a certain tag category, Google knows, ooh, KWSM knows a lot about that. And they'll show it to people looking for that.
Yes, that's a good clarification there.
No, just agreeing with you.
And so anything else on tags or?
Yeah, and I think it's just important to keep the same tags as you were mentioning.
Yeah, you should have a consistent
Always
group
happy
of
that-
tags that you're using.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
and
not
it's-
changing it every time.
Yeah, and don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to tag people's names or every single thing about it, just large topic categories. So the second thing is the featured image. So the featured image has a couple of benefits. The first is if you do end up sharing your blog on social media, it expands the amount of space that your blog gets in the newsfeed. Because there's not only the title of the blog, but also the image that's associated with the blog.
And it makes it catchier. Like
It
I'm more
does,
likely to
definitely.
stop on a link that has a picture.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And so a featured image also makes it easy to break out the text a little bit. If someone is reading your blog, they'll not just be hit with a block of text, but there's a photo to add some element that's a little bit more visual and intriguing and might get them to read on.
Okay.
And also if you do end up having a blog page on your website, you can have a image next to your individual blogs that you write. So makes it a little bit more aesthetically
More
pleasing.
appealing. Yeah.
And on Google's side of things, you can actually name your featured images, the name of your blog with your company name in there. And so if someone's ever searching for information on Google in the images category, you can also start ranking there.
So they'll find the images from your blog and that might lead them to the post.
Exactly.
Good. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. What's next?
The third one is meta titles and meta descriptions. It's an SEO term that we use here, but the way that it works is you can actually custom write what you want people to see when they are in Google search. So imagine yourself, you're going to google.com and you're trying to find out how to create content for my business. Then KWSM's blog shows up that's titled How to Create Content
for your business.
Exactly. And then the description that we have, instead of just starting the blog and then having you sort of left hanging, what we do is we custom write that description. So we say, are you a business owner who's looking for how to write content, our blog explains to you the 3 things on how to do that. Read here. And so it gets people to move into the actual website.
To click on it. Yeah.
Right. Makes it more intriguing. And similarly, these titles and descriptions would also show up on social media. So if you do end up sharing your blog there, it just adds a little bit of information for both the people and, once again, for Google to understand what your blog is about. Yeah.
And that helps with the SEO as well, right? Because like you said, Google's not reading our posts, but they are reading our metadata.
Exactly.
And then they say, oh, KWSM knows a lot about blogging. They write about this all the time, right? So then someone searches for blogging, they show them our stuff.
Exactly.
So it's important. If you're going to use the blog for SEO, you can't leave any of this out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's important too when you're posting it on social, because when I'm looking at you see a bunch of blogs through your news feed, and once it just tells you directly like what the blog is going to be about, then you're more inclined to click on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And no one likes to blind click, right? I want to know what it is.
I get disappointed if I do that. So
less clickbait, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, good.
All right, number 4, this is focus keywords. And so this goes hand in hand with tags, except focus keywords are not necessarily grouping your blogs on your website. Okay. They're allowing you to tell Google, essentially, this is the one word that I am looking to rank for. So if a person asks about this specific topic, I want to show up. And so
could be a phrase too, right? Doesn't have to be a single word.
Exactly. Yeah,
okay.
It could be a phrase. It could be more than one word, depending on which SEO platform you use. Some of them ask for one keyword, and then you have to set up for each individual keyword, or some just allow you to add many different keywords.
Okay.
And so the point of this is to be very focused in your keyword that is directly related to what you're talking about. So that if people do end up finding you through that keyword, that you're not letting them down, that like you are really explaining it. So a good example would be if we were to write, what is content marketing? That would be, content marketing would be our keyword in that circumstance.
Let me ask you a question. Is it smart to have the same keyword for most of your blogs? Like if I wrote a blog about putting videos on YouTube, my tags, the first thing we talked about might be YouTube, video marketing, those type things, because that's the categories it goes into. But I'm asking, is it smart that my focus keyword be digital marketing, because that's what all of my things are about, and I always want to show up for that? Or does the focus keyword change depending on your blog post?
It's different schools of thought.
Okay.
I believe that some studies have shown that keep pushing the same keywords allows your website to rank for those keywords. But if you're getting into an extremely detailed SEO strategy and you have got blogs that are specifically written for a keyword, then it is in your interest to make sure that that is the first and primary keyword and that your meta, description, and everything is optimized for that individual word.
Sure. But that would be those specific cases, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm in the first camp where we want to rank for digital marketing over and over again. So the more I put that on my posts, the better traction I get.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I think for most business owners, the best approach is to put your most relevant keywords in every single post. So I think your rule of thumb should be to go for that one.
Okay. All right. So tags, you'll have multiples. Featured keyword, focus keyword, you might only have the same one.
Yeah, 10 to 15, yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one is internal links. So this is a really common practice for search engine optimization. It also helps people know what else is available on your website. So if you are talking about a certain subject and you don't want to delve into what is content marketing, you just want to talk about how would you do content marketing as a restaurant, you can then choose to hyperlink pieces of text that allow people to read on. If they do care about a certain subject, you've certainly got a blog about it, and so you internally link to your company homepage or your company services or all the other resources available on your website.
Previous blog posts,
yeah, you interlink them and you provide internal links on them. So that's for people, it's fantastic, and you'll see as you're reading blogs, you'll see that they hyperlink a lot of things, which allows you to dig deeper into a website. But for Google especially, they enjoy it because it helps them understand which pages are most relevant on your website. based on where you're trying to get most people to go. Almost every single blog that we write in our agency ends up hyperlinking to contact us, because that is what we would like for you to do, no matter whether you're looking for information, you want a free audit, you want to join a boot camp. The first step is to reach out to us. And so Google now understands, okay, every single thing that they are writing about, they want people to contact them. So they help that page become more prevalent in the search results.
So maybe you should identify the most important page on your website and have a plan for linking to that page regularly.
That is a great suggestion.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. All right.
So that is all.
Excellent. So those 5 things. If you didn't write down all those 5 things, maybe you're listening to us at your desk and doing something else. Layla's blog is on our blog, which is KWSMdigital.com, and you can search for, this is probably under the blogging category. So you can search for the blogging category and find this article, and it lists it all out, and probably find lots of other useful stuff there too.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you, Layla. And then let's shift gears just a little bit. Our last topic of the day, I want to talk about websites, because, you know, we talk a lot about social media here, but websites are also important, because if ads, digital ads, and SEO and social media work really well, what they're doing is driving traffic back to your website.
Right.
And the website is where you have to make the sale. People have to buy from you or sign up for your services or send a contact form. That's the conversion you're looking for. But I think people don't pay enough attention to how to make that website perform optimally.
Right, and one of the most important things is website speed.
Yes.
You can have the best content, you can have the best blogs, you can have all these things, good advertisement, but
it can look pretty.
Yeah, but if you're, all those things lead to the website, and if your website is slow, then you're going to have a couple problems. So the first, the main 2 things I think for me is mostly, website speed. When the first thing that a user does is go on your website, the first thing they're going to notice is the speed. So that's basically your first impression as a brand. And especially now that there's about 40% of users are on mobile right now. So mostly people who are on mobile, going through a website, they're not going to have as much patience as they would on a desktop. And so that's also a really important thing for users. They're going to be leaving if your website is in between 3 to 5 seconds is like the sweet spot for page loading. So if a user's going on your site and your page isn't loading, it's taking 5 seconds. To them, it feels like almost 10 seconds. It feels even longer when you're waiting. So that's like the biggest thing is people are just going to be leaving your site.
We have short attention spans.
Yeah,
and I would say 5 seconds is still a long time. Like
Yeah.
the closer you can get to 3 or under, faster is better, right? If you can do it in 1 second, do it in 1 second.
Right.
Okay.
And also the other thing is it affects SEO, which I think a lot of people don't realize.
Yes.
The biggest thing, when people are leaving your site, they're just going to click the next best thing that's on Google. So you want to make sure that your website is ranking high for those reasons, because if another website is super slow, they're going to go back and see the next best thing. So you're basically giving your competitors one of your potential clients.
So we talked about this a little bit earlier while we were having lunch, and what you were telling me is that actually page speed factors into how high Google ranks your website.
Yeah, definitely. Google, that's part of your reputation online, and especially just, with all like the keywords and things like that, like all of those things tie in, and site speed is one of those things that people don't realize that Google prioritizes. So if your site is slow, it's gonna, for Google, that feels like, the users aren't gonna be wanting to go on your website, so they're not gonna rank you as high.
Yeah, and of course the data that they keep receiving back from their users, because Google is able to recognize, okay, this person clicked on the website and then immediately went back and bounced.
Yeah.
There's clearly something going on there, whether that's page speed or the information is not relevant. That dings you every single time people come to your website. So if you're ranking up there but you're not loading properly, then over time you will be dropped back down.
Well, and with a large portion of your traffic coming from mobile, people don't sit around and wait for it to load.
Exactly.
So you're getting a lot of those hits that are like, forget this, right? So if you're somebody who's getting a lot of traffic to your website, but you're not getting a lot of sales or contacts or conversions, time to look at your page speed. Because what we know is that if a site takes too long to load, it can lose up to 40% of your audience. Right? The people won't buy on your website. They will bail out. And we saw this with an e-commerce client recently. They were selling a hair care product, good product. We're driving a ton of traffic there through social ads, through social media, all kinds of things. But what we got is a lot of people clicking add to cart and then they'd leave. And it's because it didn't operate fast enough through that checkout process. And we had to work really quickly and diligently to make sure that website loaded faster so that the sales would be completed. And as we improved page speed, we did see the conversions complete. So sometimes it's people who want to buy, but you're not making it easy enough for them.
And I mean, there's so many things you can do to improve the SEO and things like that, like blogs. Every time you're adding a blog, you're adding a page to your website, that's going to slow down the speed. So it's important to always be, checking. There's different services and tools to figure out what your website speed is, but the 3 to 5 second is basically the sweet spot for that.
We have a tool here that will actually measure your site speed and give you a little report. So if you're interested, call us. We're happy to do it for you. It takes 5 minutes. You could send us an email at tips@kwsmdigital.com, and we'd be happy to do that for you. That's our show for today. If you need any other information before you see us next, go on our blog, kwsmdigital.com, or go on our YouTube channel, which is actually KWSM Team. There are past episodes of this show. There are a lot of tip of the days. We have a lot of information out there for you to learn to do digital marketing better. And in the meantime, we'll see you back here at 12:30 next Tuesday, 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. You can tune in again. And if you happen to be in the Orange County area, which is where we're sitting right now, Orange County, California, and you're wondering how to get into video marketing, we have a surprise for you. This Thursday, which is the 7th of March, we're going to be doing a video studio day here at KWSM. Our office is in Aliso Viejo. And that means that we're going to set up a camera and a backdrop and a teleprompter, and we give each business owner 30 minutes to shoot 4 videos. They can be used on your social, can be used on your website. They're professional quality. We'll do all the shooting and editing, and it's a good way to sort of dip your toe in the water if you're thinking about video marketing. Lots of our staff will be around to teach you how to then use the videos and what you should be doing with them. So if you're interested, send us an email. You can email info@kwsmdigital.com or go on our website and there's a contact form there and we can give you all the details. But that's coming up day after tomorrow and we have only 3 slots left. So if you're interested, get on that. Okay? In the meantime, we'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks.